Hello and thank you for listening into this video. Today we hope to provide an overview of helpful resources to recipient staff who are new to the SLFRF program or compliance and reporting responsibilities. Specifically, this explainer video will provide an overview of the SLFRF program, an overview of compliance and reporting requirements, the timeline for use of award funds, and a recap at the end of what we have discussed. The Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds, or SLFRF program, a part of the American Rescue Plan, delivers $350 billion to state, local, and tribal governments across the country to support their response to and recovery from the COVID-19 public health emergency. Through SLFRF, over 30,000 recipient governments across the country are investing these funds to address the unique needs of their local communities and create a stronger national economy by using these funds for eligible uses. Now, the four eligible uses described in the 2022 final rule are: first, replacing lost public sector revenue; second, public health and negative economic impacts; third, premium pay; and fourth, water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure. For more information about the 2022 final rule and these four eligible use categories, visit the homepage, which we will link to in the caption below, and scroll down to the 2022 final rules section. Here you'll find an overview of the 2022 final rule and the 2022 final rule in its entirety. Now, as you may know, in December of 2022, Congress amended the SLFRF program by adding 3 new eligible use categories to provide recipients additional flexibility to use SLFRF award funds. And these are to: 1, provide emergency relief from natural disasters; 2nd, build certain surface transportation infrastructure; and 3rd, support community development through Title I projects. For more information on these 3 eligible use categories and the 2023 interim final rule, you can visit the section below, the section we were just looking at, for the overview of the 2023 interim final rule and the interim final rule in its entirety. Now, I want to note that generally the amendments to the SLFRF program did not alter the 4 eligible use categories provided in the American Rescue Plan. You may continue to use your SLFRF funds according to the 2022 final rule as you've been planning to do so. For general information on the program, we recommend that you watch the 2022 final rule webinar and the 2023 interim final rule webinar, which are again in the section directly below, entitled Resources on Determining Eligible Uses of Funds under the Final Rule. You can find the accompanying slide decks in this section as well. You can scroll back up to the top of this page and refer to the SLFRF program quick reference guide and the self-service resources. You can also find other important resources such as the frequently asked questions, which is a great place to start when you have questions. For example, section 13 of the FAQs is a great place to start for information about uniform guidance requirements, including procurement requirements for NEUs. And FAQ 4.1 is a great place to start for more information about eligible uses of SLFRF funds. Now let's move to an overview of reporting. State, territorial, metropolitan city, county, tribal governments, and non-entitlement units of local governments, or NEUs, that received funding from the State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds program are required to meet compliance and reporting responsibilities. All recipients of SLFRF award funds must complete financial performance and compliance reporting as provided in the compliance and reporting guidance. Now, generally, recipients must submit a quarterly or annual project and expenditure report, which includes subaward reporting, and in some cases, annual recovery plan reports. To ensure complete and timely submission of all mandatory performance and/or compliance reporting, your organization will need to be aware of deadline requirements to submit your reports to the Treasury. Now, your organization's report cadence, or when your organization will file the report, depends on which tier your organization is in. And you'll find that information on each tier's reporting obligations and reporting deadlines on Treasury's website at Treasury.gov/SLFRPreporting at the link to the list for recipients to identify their reporting tiers under the recipient compliance and reporting heading. You should also note that we have a link to self-service resources to help with other common questions that recipients may have. Now, after you've determined your organization's filing deadlines and before you begin work on your report, please consult the latest edition of the Compliance and Reporting Guide and check out the SLFRF Award Terms and Conditions, the authorizing statute, the 2022 final rule, and other regulatory and statutory requirements. You can find the Compliance and Reporting Guide and the 2022 final rule on the same webpage. Now, you'll need to refer to the latest Project and Expenditure Report user guide for a step-by-step guidance to submit your SLFRF reports. Scroll down the webpage and you'll find the latest of these versions and additional current user guides on this webpage for states, territories, metropolitan cities, counties, NEUs, and others. Now that you know the how of your report, you'll need to know the where of your report, as in where to submit it when it is complete, which you'll do using Treasury's reporting portal. You can access the reporting portal at the same webpage under the Accessing Treasury's Portal section, and you'll choose either the login.gov or id.me link, depending on which account your organization has. Additionally, if you continue scrolling down the webpage, you'll find our SLFRF webinar library, featuring informational webinars about a number of SLFRF topics that you might find helpful to your organization, including step-by-step guides to reporting. Now let's discuss the timeline for the use of award funds. SLFRF funds under all 7 eligible use categories must be obligated by December 31st, 2024. For the 4 eligible uses described in the 2022 final rule, including the revenue loss eligible use category and the emergency relief from natural disasters eligible use category, those are described in the 2023 interim final rule. Those are all subject to the same administrative requirements and the expenditure deadline of December 31st, 2026. Now, funds used for surface transportation or Title I projects must be expended by September 30th, 2026, which is earlier than the December 31st, 2026 expenditure deadlines for all other eligible use categories. As a recap, today we have discussed an overview of the SLFRF program and where to locate important resources on our webpage, an overview of compliance and reporting responsibilities, and the timeline for the use of award funds. We hope that you found this video informative, but if you require additional assistance, please reach out to us by sending us an email. You'll find the email addresses in the comment section below this video, but for questions about the Treasury portal or for technical support, please email COVID Relief IT support at Treasury.gov. And for general questions about the Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds program, please email SLFRF at Treasury.gov. Thanks again for your time today and for tuning in.